Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning back into yet another video. Now it's been about a year that I started doing digital art and about a year and a half since I started doing video editing, and a lot has changed about my work ethic and methodology of completing an artwork from start to finish compared to back then and what I do right now, and I wanted to talk about it. Now this was a zombie apocalypse themed artwork that I roughly did around 7 months ago, and you can tell that it's pretty okay, not too bad on first look depending on your own individual opinion. But there's so much that I would like to change about it if I remade it in the same concept today. And I'm gonna be pointing them out along with better techniques which could potentially help your own workflow. Now the mistakes that I would be pointing out from this older speed art is very similar to what any beginner would make when they start getting into digital art. So it's mostly just pointing out a what not to do list, which I'm pretty sure will be helpful because these are the types of videos that I would have liked to watch when I started getting into digital art. Now let's roll the speed art for today's video. Now the first biggest mistake that I made in this artwork was making dual tone artwork look too dual tone. Now what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is dual tone should only apply to the color grading part of the artwork and not to every single layer, such that the original colors of your assets go missing and you should always retain a little bit of it. This was something that I learned further down the line and adds a lot more richer look to your artwork. Now I believe that these steps are absolutely gold, so I'd kindly consider subscribing if I were you to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And to switch between hard and soft brushes, I always used to go up and down the top panel to change the hardness and flow, but now I just alt and right click on my mouse to adjust the hardness and flow, as it is a huge time saver. I remember not using this tree for perspective reasons, but the best way to have gotten rid of the sky was probably using the color range and smoothing the grass using the refine edge tool. Getting rid of the twigs and branches in the existing composition could have been so much easier with the clone stamp tool or overlaying another sky image on top, but I eventually gave up and retained the trees. Character placement and storyboarding was not something I used to do back then. I used to search for assets as I composed the piece, but now I make a simple mock-up for about 15 to 20 minutes to check if the composition looks great and if the storytelling is on point. Making a mock-up before proceeding to make an artwork can help you set the tones and let you know what's missing before opening the canvas and just start looking at it blank, having no clue whatsoever. Placing a shooter was a horrible idea in there, not just because the perspective was off, but also because he's a sniper. Snipers only shoot from long distances, and that's just common sense. I don't know what I was thinking when I placed the sniper, but replacing the sniper with maybe like a lab experiment going wrong would have made more sense to the storyline. I'm also realizing that I'm not using a lot more overlays nowadays compared to what I used to do back then. I replace all the overlays I'm using with brushes, and for anything that cannot be used as an image, such as adding lens flares, god rays, and even missing grass, hair, this could potentially save a lot of time because you don't have to be searching for royalty for overlays all the time, and you can just finish off your work with just a single click of your brush. Also, I think I have a better understanding of light right now compared to what I'm doing back here, mainly because I'm painting all around the subject, not really having a very good understanding of light. I also learned to play a lot more with the blending modes for different purposes now compared to what I used to do back then. My camera raw filter workflow did not really change that much. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is I am color grading by my own, but previously I used to use a lot of LUTs. But I did learn to color grade by myself over time. It takes a lot of practice, but I did learn it over time. Adding depth and field of blur is something that I'm still working on learning, but sometimes I prefer leaving them flat and separate the foreground from the background using levels, or adding haze, which could be an alternate choice. So that's pretty much it. I hope these few tricks were helpful and can be implemented in your workflow. Always know that working on digital art could look really intimidating initially, but all it requires is a good eye, immense patience, and a lot of practice. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out all the links in the description for my prints and social media. I'll be back soon with another quality video.